Alright everybody, in this video we're going to be doing something very interesting. As you can see on my screen right here, I have an empty Google Doc. And you might be asking, why the hell do you have an empty Google Doc? What I'm going to be doing is building a 10K a month agency with you in this video from ground zero. Okay, you might be wondering, how am I going to do this? I'm going to be talking with you as if I'm on a call with you, building an agency for you, so you can just take everything in here and implement it for yourself and actually make money with an agency. And if you have the brain cells or the dopamine levels of a pigeon, then you can click off and watch a Mr. Beast video or something. But if you're serious about actually making money with your agency, this is the video to watch. If you don't know me, I'm Joe. I've scaled my agency to 40 grand a month and also run a coaching business right now, working with 90 plus agency owners in total. And I'm going to be distilling everything I've learned from being in the agency game for over 2 years now into a document. So let's get into it. There are 4 key components to an agency that you need to define off the bat. Number 1 is niche. This is going to be the group of people we're honing in on in order to provide a service to and reaching out to. Number 2 is offer. Explain why an offer is going to come after that. Then thirdly, we're going to be talking about outreach messaging, getting your first few clients. Then at the end, we're going to be talking about service delivery, because we're not going to just neglect service delivery like a lot of people do. We're actually going to talk about it and talk how to deliver a fantastic service. Number 1 is niche. So what actually makes a good niche? You might be asking yourself that right now if you're starting your agency. It's very important to pick a good niche because the boat you are in actually matters more than how fast you're rowing the boat yourself. So there are 2, maybe 3 primary factors you have to look at when you're talking about a good niche. Is they have money to spend. Secondly, you need to be able to contact them. Next is having a pain point to solve. These are the 3 main components of a good niche. Firstly, a lot of people just mess up at the number 1 criteria, which is money to spend. If you want to grow an agency to 10, 15, 20, 50K a month, you have to work with a niche that's actually going to be able to pay you that each month, even if it's across 50 clients. You can make a agency work in a gym niche. It's just going to be significantly harder than if you go into something like landscaping or something where they get high ticket deal sizes as a company and they make very good monthly recurring revenue to afford a service to grow their business even more. As an example, let's just use gyms as the example here. They are scraping by with bare minimum profit margins every single month. So if you try to reach out to 100 gym owners, maybe only 5 of them are going to be able to afford a 5K PIF, maybe only 15 of them. But these are low numbers. We want to reach out to people who actually have money to spend. Secondly, able to be contacted means like you can just find their phone number on the internet and able to be calling them up whenever. Okay, that's just a fantastic criteria. If you can't find this person on the internet or you can't scrape leads with their phone number, then it's not going to work, or even email. Thirdly, having a pain point to solve, meaning do they need help with something and how much pain are they in? This is an industry where they're relying on junk leads like Yelp or Angie's List or something like that, and they have no idea how to qualify leads. They have no idea how to generate leads consistently. This is what we call a pain point to solve. So these are very important criteria to find a good niche. Some good niches that meet this criteria are some things like car detailing. It is hardscaping / landscaping. It can be roofing. It could be, let's say, driveway installs, or it could be even interior design. I'm just writing things off the top of my head of agency owners I've worked with previously who have built successful agencies. These are the type niches that we want to go into, because something you'll notice is when it's a high ticket niche where you're working with a car detailer and they're charging $2,000 for ceramics as an example, or you're working with a roofer and they're getting paid 5, 6K profit per customer they work with. This is what we want to look for. What we don't like is $100 gym memberships, because guess what? If you're running paid advertising for this niche you're working with, then we only need to get 1 or 2 6K deals a month. And if they're spending $900 in ads a month with us as an agency, we're making them $6,000 or $16,000 back. That's fantastic. That's a 1 to 16 ratio of how much they're spending versus how much they're getting back. Okay, so this is what we're looking at when we're looking at high ticket niches. That's why I love working with high ticket niches, because 1, better people to work with. They're making more money. They're probably more conscientious. They're more orderly. Secondly, they actually have the money to spend with you as an agency. And if they're making great progress with you as an agency, they're going to keep increasing the ad spend because they see the return. Versus if you're working with a low ticket niche, they can't have food on the table every single day. They're just going to cancel you immediately when they have a few days without getting an appointment, or a few days without getting an actual gym membership, as an example. Okay, so now we have the niche criteria dialed in. Let's, for an example for this video, just pick one of these. Let's see. I'm going to settle on the first one I wrote. Let's say car detailing. Okay, so this is one of those where ceramics are anywhere from 1 to 2K. There's going to be upsells. There's going to be downsells when we're talking about car detailing. And it's one of the niches that is working right now. And we're going to talk about service labor in a second, where we can run Facebook ads for them. Okay, now we have a niche dialed in. If you are starting it as an agency right now and you are taking weeks to decide a niche, oh my gosh, please just pick one within 1 to 2 days. It's not very hard, as I just did. I just went through this criteria and I just got a random niche off the top of my head. I know the criteria, so it's easier for me, but with you now knowing this, just pick one. Okay, please just pick a niche. Offer. I split the offer into 2 components. I have, as an example, pricing, and then I have messaging. This is the way I like to do it, and the way I think about offers. Because what you're not going to do is drop the price of your service on a damn cold call or anything like that. That's what we're going to be doing for messaging the offer. Okay, so pricing the offer is different than messaging. The pricing is only going to be dropped on the sales call, 30 to 40 minutes in the call, where you qualified them, put them through a line of questioning, and you drop the price. First part of pricing that we don't want to do is charge $5K up front. Let's just literally write down in caps, don't charge $5K up front as a beginner. And like, there's narratives that go around the agency space where it's like, charge more money, they're better clients. Okay, I understand. Same time, you've never done this before. Personally, if I charge $5-6 grand when I haven't delivered a service before, I wouldn't sleep at night because I'd be like, oh my God, I just took this guy's $5 grand. I don't have any case studies. I don't have any testimonies to back this up. How do I even know that I'm going to get this result that I told this person? You've never done it. Okay, so the whole point with a beginner is to reduce the risk that we have with our clients. We want to give it basically zero risk with the clients. There's obviously going to be some risk in any decision someone makes, especially when you're an agency model and the clients are paying for ad spend. But at the same time, we're not going to go full overboard and just go cash hungry. We need to make $10K a month the first month. By aiming for case studies and running a performance offer, which I'm just going to write down here, we're going to be running a performance offer with this. You end up making more money month 2 and month 3 than just directly aiming for money. It's a very interesting contradiction where if you aim for making $10K a month with an agency the first month, you don't make it. If you aim just to get case studies with an agency, you make more money than the person who wants to just make the money. It's really weird. It's an indirect correlation that ends up working better for you than if you just aim to make money with high ticket deals. So we're going to be aiming for case studies to get a proof of concept, because if you think about it this way, we need to think about risk in our investment with a client, because you can do one of 2 things to mitigate risk. Is 1, you make money when they make money, or 2, we talk about guarantees and having 5 deals guaranteed 9 days. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Thirdly, you have to just have case studies, which is the strongest one. It's one of the strongest ones. It's kind of tied at the guarantee in terms of strength. Case studies are unbelievably important. I always think about a balancing act between case studies. You have more case studies, which means you can now raise price. You have less case studies, which means you can drop the upfront price and just aim to get clients to get the case studies, to increase your price. It's kind of one of those back and forth games where it's like, okay, more heavier case studies equals more price. Okay, more price means you need more case studies. It's a balancing act. So what I recommend for performance comes like this. We do upfront price. We're not going to do free trials. At least I don't recommend free trials. You absolutely can make it work, but it's one of those things where there's no commitment. We need some sort of commitment, and that's why I've always ran a very low setup fee, bare minimum, to get people on board. For an upfront price, we call this a setup fee. It's just one-time pay to us to get clients on board with our program. We can do this anywhere from $300 to $1,000 upfront when you have no case studies. Okay. If you just want to aim for case studies and say like, I don't need money at the moment, I have a part-time job or something, which you're going to want money, but you're probably get more clients as a beginner when you don't know how to sell anything yet. You don't have a service, but you just need clients in the door to make money. Go for the $300 to $500 setup fee. Okay, if you want to sell at a higher price and you feel confident in your sales skills, you know the service already, you may have previous experience, you can 100% get away going up in cash a little bit. Secondly, performance. Charge per showed appointment or per deal. This is how I would do a pricing structure where it is the least risk possible for clients. If you charge per lead like many agencies do, you're going to have an objection come up. Guess what the objection is? You promise me 50 leads and you're charging per lead. Okay. How do I know any of these leads aren't just a piece of paper that you're handing me with 50 leads on it? That's the objection you're going to get if you try to charge or try to guarantee leads when you're working with the business. Think about it like this. The closer you are to them making money with your promises and your ads and your outreach, if you talk about making money the whole time with getting them deals or the next closest thing, which is showed appointments to that person's business, they see the direct correlation to them making money. It is very simple. This makes me money. I'm going to promise this person this. That's the way we think about it. If you want to do a pay per appointment model, you're going to probably cut this price by 5. But if you want to charge per deal, like I just talked about, if a ceramic coating for a car detailer is $1,200, we can charge them $150 to $200 per ceramic as an example. Okay. So this is very simple. We're taking a cut of what we're making them per deal we get them. Another thing is if you want to do, let's say per appointment, we can take that down a notch and maybe do $50 to $80. Maybe around $50. I'd probably say that. Again, I'm thinking this through on this video so you guys know my thought process. Ideally, what you want to do, and this is just an AI tip, is talk about to GPT. Literally talk this through with GPT because GPT has all the knowledge on the internet of the conversion rates in this niche. And let's say the average sales cycle for this niche. Go into GPT. What do you think of this offer for the car detailing niche? And what it's going to do is give you feedback on that offer. And we can say, decent range for beginners. Okay, awesome. If any, like it's basically what I'm saying in this video right here. This is fair if the show up rate is reliable and quality leads is high. So if you're decent at Facebook ads, run the ad or anything like that, and you get them qualified leads, then perfect. So my assumption is correct. Secondly, $150 to $200 close deal works well if you're helping them close high ticket services. So this is perfect. We're talking about actually getting ceramic coatings for car detailers. So $500 to $1,500 package is perfect. If most deals are $100 to $250, it won't be sustainable. So completely fine. We're talking about ceramic coatings. So this is awesome. GPT just verified it. So if you have an offer and you want it to be verified, I would type it in here. As you can see, it agrees with me. The pay per result aligns with performance offers here. Awesome. Okay, so now we have a decent offer, which is either one of these two options. This is what I would do. I would probably, if I have 0 case studies, I have no idea what I'm doing. If you just want clients to get a case study, you can do per deal. That's probably my number one suggestion, but you can make per appointment work. Lastly, ad spend. Okay, this is probably the most unsexy part about this. It's what your clients pay every single day to Facebook ads for us to run their ads. I always set bare minimums and not high ends for this. So not maximum bare minimums. Why? A person spending $5 a day in ads is going to get significantly worse results than the person spending $30 USD a day. Okay. And then obviously $50 USD a day is going to get more than $30. So what I recommend is $30 USD minimum a day for car detailing as an example. This is for us to test the ads. This is for us to get the impressions. This is for us to convert the impressions. This is a bare minimum. Ideally, like if they want to spend $40, $45 and you can sell them on it, that's fantastic. We can do much more testing. We can test more creatives. But we want to clarify an ad spend before we move on to the next messaging part because we're going to make some promises to our potential prospects, potential clients. We're going to make promises to them, and we need to hit those promises, and we need a minimum ad spend in order to do that. All right, so now messaging the offer. Very important. It comes down to 3 categories: promises, timeframes, and then guarantees. So these are the 3 core parts of a very good offer. Promises is also called dream outcome. Okay, so when you're working with agency clients, what you're not going to do is just give them no promise. You're not going to say by 90 days in, I don't know what you're going to have. That's horrible messaging, horrible marketing. You need a concrete promise to them that they're going to get this outcome in a certain time frame, and that's why I wrote time frame. Firstly, promises needs to be aligned to what we call a dream outcome, which is their desire, what they want most. Leads isn't what they want most. Deals is what they want most. What we need to keep in mind here is when we're making any form of guarantees, there's a saying, under promise and over deliver. We want to under promise everything. So what I would do, let's say with a car detailing offer, is I would promise 5 to 10 ceramics in 90 days. So this is going to be the next part, which is the time frame. 5 to 10 ceramics is an absolute low ball, and we can probably tell them on the sales call that we're going to probably get them 25 to 30 in 90 days, okay? We want guarantees to be a bare minimum because we never want to activate it. Because, again, we're going to be talking about the strongest guarantees, but it's often going to be anywhere full refund or a work for free, which is paying ad spend. So this is super crucial. So these are the 2 guarantees that work very well, a full refund or a work for free. So basically we're saying, I'm going to get you 5 to 10 ceramics in 90 days. If you don't hit it, I'm going to full refund you. So this is 2 options. I'm going to get you 5 ceramics in 90 days. If you don't hit it, I'm going to work for free, which means I'm going to pay your ad spend until you hit it. Okay? This is very, very crucial. This is a good offer. Promise, time frame, and a full refund or a work for free. These are the strongest 2 kind of guarantees that I like using, that are the most simple without overcomplicating things. The reason I do a time frame of 90 days is if you're a beginner, you've never ran ads before, and you want to guarantee them 5 ceramics in 30 days. That's not a lot of time. If something goes horribly wrong, you set up your pixel incorrectly, you set up the lead form incorrectly, you set up the ad incorrectly, you get the targeting wrong, 30 days, that's a really short time frame, okay? Very, very short. That's why I like something like 90 to 120. To each their own. If you want to do 6-month time frames, sure. I've seen it done before. I just like 90 as a general principle for a beginner who wants to get great results, who doesn't want to have pressure on their head every single day waking up for 30 days straight. That's just what I like doing. Okay, so let's cover it. Okay, so our car detailing niche, we have a performance offer of a bare minimum ad spend. We have a upfront price of $300 to $1,000. We have dream outcome. We have a time frame. We have a guarantee. Boom. Do Stripe for payment processing. Use Go high level for cold calling. All this stuff. We're going to get into this now. Outreach messaging. What you want to discover for yourself is, are you time constrained or money constrained? If you're time constrained, I'm going to opt for something like cold SMS. If I'm money constrained when I'm starting this agency, I'm going to opt for cold calling. If you are none of these, where it's like you're dropping out of university and you want to quit your job and you want to work as hard as possible, I would run with both of these. What we want to do is get a proof of concept on how our offer is resonating with the market and get people on sales calls. Learn the essential skills of getting people to show up for sales calls, learning how to increase your appointment booking rate. So here's what I'm going to cover real quickly. If I'm beginning as an agency owner and I do this agency, I would opt for starting out 100 to 200 cold calls. If you can, and you're a real hustler, you can do up to 250, 300. Okay. And this is just again, the more you do, the better results you get. You're probably going to get 1 to 2% ABR for someone who has never cold called in their life. You might get up to 3%. for a first week or two. Which means if let's say you're doing 100 cold calls, you're going to get 1 to 2 bookings / day, right? And assuming you're doing weekdays, this means anywhere from 5 to 10 bookings a week. So again, this doesn't have to be that hard. People overcomplicate appointment booking. The only way this is hard is if we pick a niche up here that is not able to be contacted, or we're picking dentists who have 5 receptionists who we have to get through in order to contact a decision maker. And again, dealing with gatekeepers is a skill in itself. It's a very good question to ask because if you're money constrained, it's just going to be time. You're spending as much time cold calling as possible with GHL. Go high level, which is a CRM I recommend. If you are time constrained, cold SMS is a system you can set up in 45 minutes to an hour, get a number verified, and you're probably going to have a 1% ABR, and you can send 200 automated personalized messages a day, and that's around 2 extra bookings a day. So I just built us a system that's getting anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 4 appointments / day as a beginner. Let's say weekday, okay? And we're going to take these sales calls and we're going to pitch them on this performance offer. And what we're trying to do here, sell on performance, collect case studies. In caps, this is what we're trying to do. And this is the system that I personally used, a bit different when I'm starting my agency because I didn't know as much as I know now. So before I was doing like 50 cold calls, I got lucky with the first client. It took me like 10 sales calls to get a first client. I didn't know how to sell. I was super nervous. What I would say to myself then is just tough it out, man. Because if you really want to be a business owner, you have to go through the pain of actually going through this stuff, of sitting down at your desk right here. And instead of recording a video like this, you're making 100 dials to strangers and you're booking 1 or 2 of them in. You're going to get rejected for like 50 of them and like 48 of them are not going to pick up the phone. So this is the nature of business. Now let's get more advanced. So after I get a few clients and I do my service delivery here, and we're going to be talking about that, I should be sitting around like a 4% appointment booking rate with my agency with cold calls. I should be pretty damn decent. And if you're a killer cold caller at that point, you should be getting 5% ABR, let's call it. If you're getting these metrics or even 6% ABR, you're good enough to train and hire a cold calling team. And at this point, you should be anywhere between 3K / month and 6K / month. So that should be really possible. You should probably be anywhere from 3 to 5 clients making this much on a performance offer. And also at this point, you probably should be at a setup fee of anywhere between some people can do $750. Some people go up to $2,000 upfront after they have a few case studies. So they've raised their price because they have a few case studies, and you're getting really good cold calling metrics. What you want to do here at this point is either run ads or hire a cold calling team. This is what we call applying leverage to what we're currently doing. We have the skill set of either or both Facebook ads, because you're running ads for clients, or you have super good cold calling skills because you've been cold calling for a few months and you're getting super good metrics and you're able to train someone now. So you're able to transfer the skill you have to somebody else in order to get them up to what you're doing. Then you hire, let's say you're doing a cold calling team. Let's say you're doing this option. This is what I did before I ran ads. You're going to get 2 to 4 cold callers, booking out your calendar full. Ideally, if you're making 3 to 6K a month with an agency in USD, you probably should be going full-time as an agency. This isn't career advice. What I think about this is when you're breaking even with the current job you have, that's when you should probably transition to full-time in the agency. If you're making the same amount of money between both vehicles, and one vehicle can probably cap out 50 hours a week with the job at like 7 to 8K a month, but one is you spend a few hours, let's say more a week, maybe you spend 40 hours a week, but one can go up to 100K a month, probably invest your time in the one that can go up to 100K a month. So what I would do is go full-time in the agency. I would get these cold callers doing 200 dials a day on weekdays, and that would book out my calendar full. When I did this, I also had a closer when I got more cold callers. So I was booking out my calendar and a closer's calendar full. So this is super crucial to know. So now what we're going to have is a bunch more problems pop up. And I'm saying problems because I went through this. We have a full calendar. You have to do service delivery. And you're just probably working 13-hour days. Okay? Expect this because now you have to deliver. But this right here on one of these vehicles, either running ads or hiring a cold calling team, will get you up to about 15, 20K a month. If your cold calling team is good enough, you can maybe get up to 30 or 40. Okay, but your niche has to be good enough where we can keep cold calling, and the appointment booking rate is great, and they have money spent on our service, and our upfront fees get to 3, 4, 5K upfront. So that's like an ideal situation. Boom. Then you hire closers, and I won't dive into like the super advanced stuff because the likelihood, if you're watching this video, probably anywhere from 0 to $8,000 a month, so you're probably not 100 yet, but that's what I would do to get to like 40, 50. Okay, so last part of this video, which is service delivery, and I'm not going to neglect this like many people do. I'm going to fully go into how I deliver a service. When you're working with clients, the number one thing affecting service delivery in terms of the variables that you have to get correct, proper offer. Okay, so your clients have to have a really good offer that you're advertising. Car detailing, as an example, it might be, let's say, $400 off ceramic coating. Let's say 40% off ceramic coating. What I would do is like research the actual offers that your niche is running. I'm just building a doc out for this video, so I'm not going to know every single niche, every single offer car detailing niche runs. But this is the research I would do in terms of delivering the service. Again, I built my agency in the real estate niche. I'm not 100% familiar with this, but I would dive into that. And you can even ask, like I said, the ChatGPT to see what core offers are running. Or let's also write this. Facebook ads library. What I would do is go Facebook ads library. We're going to search this up. And we can go into car detailing ads in any place you would like. So I'm just going to go all of Canada. So first one I see is your car ready for a fresh look. They're doing a low ticket offer. This is obviously a type of car detailer that goes to each house instead of having a location for $150. So again, this isn't an amazing ad. I don't like the copy too much, but we have $150. Again, it's not formatted. Anyway, that's probably a bad example. We shouldn't be looking at that. What's a good car detailing ad? Let's see. Better. Okay, better. We have $250 full detail. Ontario residents probably should have been capitalized. Okay, they messed that up. Okay, oh well. Let's see what this ad looks like.
Ontario residents? When was the last time your car felt like it just rolled off the showroom floor? If it's been a while, now's your chance to bring back that
So decent ad. I would do a bit more changes to this ad. I would put music onto it. I'd make it look like you're actually scrolling reels when you're watching this video ad, but it's a pretty decent ad and it's probably making a profit for these clients. This started running a few days ago. I like this. Okay, let's say this is a good ad. So they have a $250 full detailing. So like I said, we have $400 off, 40% off ceramic coating. And usually in ceramic coating jobs, they often upsell at that place. So if you have a low ticket offer for a car detailing business, we get them in for a $100 detailing, very simple coating. And then we want to upsell their ceramic coating. then boom, we have that done, and that's definitely going to work as an offer. So Facebook ads library, that's a great way to do it. But like I said, I'm ranting here, a proper offer is the number one thing. Next thing is going to be a great creative. So basically now we have an offer and we go, how can we make this offer look as good as possible with getting best retention, best click-through rate, targeting the right people with the proper targeting we're using. It could be open targeting. It could be dialing in the target to a specific type of person. But secondly, great creative. Like we just saw with this one, they did a location call out.
When was the last time your car felt like it? Ontario residents?
So I'm targeting Canada, Ontario residents. Perfect. I always like the location call out, right? So that's a good creative. We have good voiceover. It's definitely AI. I recommend AI voiceovers for local business ads. It works really well right now. I would have done AI voiceover, location call out. I would have done a better pattern disrupt to the ad. I would have put music over top. And lastly, the key point, make it look like a reel. This is kind of the number one advertising hack I've seen recently, especially with my ads that I'm running right now. We try to make it look like they're swiping in their reels, and the ad isn't actually an ad. If the ad can have music, can have a location call out, but be funny, could be animations, it could be B-roll going over the ad, as much dopamine as possible to keep them retained while we pitch them with the offer we want them to see. Very crucial. Okay, so great creative number 2. Next is going to be kind of great targeting. Next is going to be copy as the last thing. Trying to think if I messed up anything here. But I think creative and offer, if you're thinking about like 80-20 rule on service delivery ads for agencies, for especially Facebook, then offer and great creative are going to be number 1. Copy, I would test last. It's one of those things where if you don't have an offer dialed in or you don't have a great creative that you've tested both of those things, it's nearly irrelevant. Okay, I think we have a full agency now. Okay, car detailing, offer, we have performance offer, we have the messaging dialed in, we have exactly the outreach messaging dialed in. I always make the offers before I do outreach. If I'm talking to agency owners, I'm reaching out to, let's say, car detailers. Let's just use an example again. And I'm like, what's your offer? I don't really have an offer. Like, I change my offer. I change my price every single time. I change my pricing structure. I change my messaging. I don't even have a promise. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're just saying in the outreach message you're going to generate them leads. Horrible. Super low converting. You need to be direct. What outcome are you getting them in what time frame? So that's why I made an offer first, because we're going to take the messaging of the offer and simply put it in the messaging of the offer. If I'm doing a cold call script, here's an example. Let's go back to our outreach messaging, and then I'll wrap up the video after this. I'm ranting for a while. Cold call consists of this: opener, hook, pitch, CTA. Opener. Hey, it's Joe. Would you hate me if I said this was a cold call? Would you hate me and hang up on me if you said this was a cold call? That's an example opener off the top of my head. Okay, hook. Haha, thank you. I work with car detailers to get them, let's say 5 to 10 guaranteed ceramics in 90 days. Okay? On a complete, zero risk, pay on results basis. If you don't make money, I don't get paid. Here's an example of a hook. And then I would say maybe, can I have 20 seconds to quickly explain how it works? Hook. Okay, now we have a cold calling script. We have an opener. We have a hook. And we have a pitch, which we need to write out. I'm not going to fully explain the pitch. It's probably going to take a few minutes. But what we want to do in the pitch is do a high-level overview of our system, and as well explain how we're different. Okay? This is very crucial. You're basically trying to make yourself look different from the 5 and 10 other cold calls that they've received that day. If you don't make yourself look different, they're going to group you in with all the horrible agencies that they've got pitched by who are just horrible. We want to separate ourselves. CTA, do you have 20 minutes for a Zoom call in the next few days so I can run you through some case studies and our exact system? I would probably improve on this. Do you have 20 minutes of Zoom call next few days? I'd probably make that a bit better, but you get the idea. Do you have 20 minutes the next few days so I can walk you through the exact system, see if you might be interested? Type thing. That's what we're trying to do. And I just wrote out a full cold call script in like 5 minutes, so you can just like get the ideas from this and run it. But literally, the whole point of me explaining this to you, the cold call or any outreach method you're doing, you need a good offer for, because that's the core of your outreach message. If you have a bad offer, your outreach will be bad. Okay. So if you enjoyed this, you want to work with me personally to get a plan personalized to you for your exact agency, for your exact situation. I build stuff like this out with agency owners all the time, getting them amazing results with pages of client results. If you want to see that, there's a link in the description in the comments I'll put there. Click it, book call next few days whenever you're free. And I'd love to talk to you in there. I'll see you later. Goodbye.